there's no chemistry there. How are you gonna like be thrust into a situation where you're kind of semi-separated, it's a bit awkward, and like not want to go, you know, find a closet? So I didn't finish the book. I gave up at like 8:30.
And I really scratched my head and I wonder, where's God when you need him?
I'm so angry. I've only read 30 pages, but I'm fuming. I'm fuming. Hello everyone. How are we? I'm still ill. If you watched my previous vlog, which was me reading Kendall and Kylie Jenner's book, Jesus, I still ain't healed. I ain't healed. Recently, my last video I posted would have been the book series that I need to finish this year. It's not the last video, but go off, sis. For the most part, series that I have loved and want to finish this year. I get such a feeling of satisfaction from finishing series. Honestly, it's addictive. Like it's addictive enough finishing a book, but when you finish a series, you really think you are that bitch. Like you think, wow, I have just gone through all those books. What I thought I would do this week is make progress in a few of those series, the ones I'm most excited for, and take you along the ride. So these are all quite popular series here on BookTube. I'm going to show you the books now, and then it's going to be a reading vlog of me reading them. So I've picked 3 books from different series. They're all actually the second book in 3-part series. So I'm really not going to finish any series in this video, but I'm going to be making progress in them. So the first one, the one I'm going to read first, is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha and ngan. If you recall, Girls of Paper and Fire was one of my favourite books of last year. I adored it, and so I can't wait to get into this one. A few people have not enjoyed this one who did enjoy Girls of Paper and Fire though. They say it definitely suffers from middle book syndrome. I've heard that Natasha wanted to make it a duology and she was convinced by the publishers to make it a 3-part series, and that you can definitely tell that from reading this. But to me, there's rarely a book that I can say this feels like home, and Girls of Paper and Fire just feels like home to me. I think it deals brilliantly with the topics it covers, and also it was a big part of me getting into reading this in 2019. I read it in Florida. I bought it and read it in Florida on holiday, and so it has such happy feelings to me, you know, when I think about reading it. And so I can't wait to read this. I'm going to start it today, and I feel good about this. I feel like there's something about Natasha's writing and these characters that is just like at the core of me, but we shall see. I could also not like it. Then next we got Gemina by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. This is of course the second in the Illuminate files. Illuminate was the first book I read this year in 2020, and I gave it 5 stars. I've actually struggled with 5 stars this year. I think I've only given out 2 or 3 so far, and I'm about a week into February at the moment, so I haven't given out loads. I've read about 14 or 15 books, so yeah, I'm definitely reading less 5 stars than I would usually. So I'm really hoping, like all of these books I'm excited for, I'm really hoping that this will pull through and be another 5 stars. If it's on par with Illuminate, and a lot of people say it's even better, then I can't see how I won't give this 5 stars. I'm also going to be buddy reading this with Nicole from Nicole and Her Books. As always, I'm always telling you to go and subscribe to her, because she is just like the love of my life. I adore her, so definitely go subscribe to her. And she also purchased this for me. She also gave it to me for my birthday. God, the way this is told in a multimedia format, I adore. I think it's such a welcome break. In the same way something like graphic novels is, where you switch up your format. This, I find you read so quickly because of all the different like types of stuff that you've got going on in this book. So again, I can't wait to get to this. I cannot wait. And then the last one, I'm not even in frame. Get a grip of yourself, Megan. The last one I'm a bit scared for is probably from the most hyped up series, like out of all of these on BookTube, and I'm going to be reading Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. Now, this is of course the second one in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I'm nervous. I gave Shadow and Bone 3 stars. I didn't love it. The reason I want to get through this series quickly is so that I can read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I think are going to be 5 stars for me. But I think this series are kind of going to be 3 and 4 stars for me. I'm actually not expecting a 5 star from this. We can hope. But I don't think we're gonna get it. We follow Alina and like her special powers, and there's Mal, who's a tracker. They've been friends since birth, and there's the Darkling, who's like, he's a bad guy, but like, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna go start Girls of Storm and Shadow. Again, I'm so nervous because it's like it's just so good. Anyway, it's Girls of Paper. I don't want it to take Girls of Paper and Fire for me if it's bad. Like if it's not if what people have said is true, I don't want it to taint it. Like I want to hold Girls of Paper and Fire pure in my memory. So I'm basically reading this in this video to make myself read it and get to it. We'll go see it, and I will check back in once I have some thoughts on this book. If you haven't seen, my last reading vlog was me reading Kendall and Kylie Jenner's book, and reading that has definitely put me in a little bit of a slump. It took me a few days to kind of get back into reading again. I'm now about halfway through Girls of Storm and Shadow. I was actually quite nervous going into this just because a lot of people who really enjoyed the first one didn't like this one. I know that Kayla from Books and Lala gave it like 1 or 2 stars, and I picked this series up on her recommendation. You know, like Girls of Paper and Fire was one of her favourite books of last year, so when I saw she giving it a bad rating, I was like, okay. And so I wanted to take a little bit of time to collect my thoughts before like telling you what I think, and I really like it so far. I think it's definitely slower. I think the beginning is slow. I think it's kind of a mix of that and the last book I read that meant that I read the beginning quite slowly. We are in a different location in this book than we are in the majority of the last book, and I think it struggles to kind of cement itself a little bit. But we're travelling around a lot in this one. We're going to a lot of different locations, which I actually think works well for it because no setting is going to have a basis in the story like the one in the first book did. Do you know what I mean? Be like so core to the story. And so going to all these other little places enables us to explore a lot of different parts of the world, a lot of different cultures within the world. I was worried we would never kind of revisit a lot of the characters we visited that we spent time with in the first book from that location, but we actually do. And I've enjoyed. There's only been like one chapter with that so far for me, but I really like that as well because that was something when I was coming into it, I was saying, I really want to spend time with those characters and catch up with them and see what kind of place they're in after what happened at the end of the last book. So I'm really glad that she's found a way to mix that together and have what happens in those chapters affect the rest of the story as well. So I think that's gone really well. There's something about Natasha Nyang's writing that I've always said it kind of feels safe. Not in like it's not adventurous way, but if you feel safe while reading it, you know? It feels very homely is the which I think is really important when we're dealing with the subject matters that we are. If you don't know the first book, Girls of Paper and Fire, and in this one, I guess the whole series, there's heavy trigger warnings for rape and sexual assault. So the king has a group of paper girls who are forced to sleep with him, and our main character Leigh is one of those paper girls. So I think her writing I have never really felt that with an author before, but it feels to me very comforting, assured in what it's doing, but very like soft. This is so weird. I've never like spoken about writing like this. I think to have something to counteract the kind of heaviness and the darkness of those topics is really helpful. And in this one we're dealing a lot with trauma, how people feed their trauma and try to mask it. In this one as well, another topic that we're covering, which I think is quite interesting and which I didn't expect, was to kind of look at just how power corrupts universally. I guess in the first book, we follow the Demon King, and he's just kind of like outright evil, right? There's a lot of discussion on how when men are given power, they can think they're well-meaning, but it's always going to end up hurting people, and the sacrifice is always going to be made, and maybe the people who are making them aren't the right people. Do you know what I mean? For now, at least, I'm not disappointed by it. I don't think it's going to be 5 stars like Girls of Paper and Fire was to me, but I'm often greater betrayed for sequels than this. You know, sometimes I'll give a first in the series a 5-star and the second a 2-star. And so going from a 5 to a 4, which is what this is sitting at roughly for me now, isn't as painful, and I still feel fairly like, okay, it's fine. You know, the second book or the second album or whatever is always difficult. So it's much later in the evening, and I've just finished Girls of Storm and Shadow. Ignore my yoga mat, by the way. We'll just get in the way of that. Usually I come to like these check-ins with a bit of an idea of what I'm gonna say. Am I in focus even? I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
It's a mess.
I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of the same amount of enjoyment for me throughout it. There were some twists, and some of those I saw coming and some I didn't. I enjoyed the aspect because the ones I didn't felt very like realistic, and once I knew about them I understood where they happened. I was like, yeah, okay. Do you know what I mean? That makes no sense! Does this book feel a bit empty? Maybe. I had heard that it was supposed to be, or Natasha Yang wanted it to be a 2-book series, and she got convinced to make it 3 books. I think she's fleshed it out very well, and there's not a lot of scenes that don't feel like they have a place there, but it doesn't necessarily feel as high stakes as you would want it to. She's intertwined the story very well that for us, we can't necessarily cut out parts of the story that you would want to because it's connected to what happens in other parts, which obviously wasn't her plan. She's interconnected it later when she realised she was going to make it a 3-book series so that things were all connected. So I can't say, oh, I think this bit should have been cut because it had a knock-on effect to something else. But I think way back in the drawing process, I think maybe this series would have been more comfortable as a duology. She's one of the most vivid writers I've ever come across. Like, in Have you noticed how whenever I start thinking of that book, the book that shall not be named, I start coughing. I'm not kidding when I said it make me ill. Like, it's bad vibes, bad energy, just all round, just like not conducive for success. In comparison to the Rebels City of Indra by Kendall and Kylie Jenner, I said in that video how I could never envision where I was. Like, I could never, I didn't know what any of the settings looked like. I didn't even know where we were half the time, like what kind of setting we were in. Whereas polar opposite of this, and maybe part of the reason I enjoyed reading it so much was that Natasha Yang makes sure like her settings are some of the most vivid I've ever read. I can picture everything in such great detail without necessarily other reference points. Like, she creates such original landscapes and settings, I think. I loved being with Leigh. Leigh to me is a great character, but she's in a relationship in this book which isn't entirely healthy. And I think because we feel for both people in the relationship, for both her and her girlfriend. I don't want to like name names, I don't want to spoil anything, but I think it is commonly known that she falls in love with a girl in this book, right, in the series. So it's not entirely healthy, and I don't know if it's discussed enough. Her partner's actions when they're bad are portrayed as bad, but I'm not sure the dynamics of the relationship, particularly towards the end, are reflected by outside individuals enough. Their relationship is very insular. It only occurs between them two, and so you've never got anyone else saying to her, no, that's not the way this should be happening. I'm not like crying, by the way, it's my my cough. I don't want to I felt like I sound so sad, like no one ever tells her. Well, it was just my voice. Yeah, no one's ever telling her that that's wrong, and so I think at some points it almost bleeds into like that whole am I crazy thing. I mean, the girl she's in a relationship with is not a bad character by any means, not a bad person, but she's flawed, and yeah, I'm just not sure the dynamics are fully gone into enough, particularly with a series that deals with, you know, sexual assault, and I think obviously sexual assault is very separate to relationships, but her perception, both of their perceptions of relationships are going to have been affected by what they went through, and so I think the pair are linked in some way in this book. So yeah, I just would have liked to see and maybe we'll get that in the 3rd book, but a bit more of a look at the dynamics between them. So But I really loved all the new characters in this. To me, it didn't feel like we were with new characters. It didn't feel jarring. It felt like these were people that we knew all along. And there were a few Easter eggs in there for fans, and I just really enjoyed it. And it makes me feel kind of like, what are my taste levels? Because people who I often have very similar tastes with didn't like this, but everyone's gonna like different books. And I'm here to tell you that Girls of Storm and Shadow isn't as good as Girls of Paper and Fire. I don't think anyone is out here saying that. But I still think it's very good, and I think if you love her writing, if you love the core of the story, I think she's actually travelled it through very well, considering we are in completely different settings this time, completely different situations. I think the core of the story is still very much there. So, yeah, I'm going to give it 4 stars. So now I'm going to start Gemina. I'm budget reading this with Nicole from Nicole and Her Books, and this is quite long. It's 659 pages, but they're usually quite a fast read. So I'm hoping I'm going to get through this quite quickly, because today is Wednesday night, so I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I upload this vlog on Sunday night. But usually I spend like the whole of Sunday editing. It's so embarrassing how long editing takes me. Like, everyone else is like, oh, I edited a video today and it took me 3 hours. And I'm like, I wish any video only took me 3 hours. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. I don't want to hear anything about it. So, I didn't read anything yesterday. I literally read 1 page. That ain't good. I have got 36 hours to read about 1,000 pages.
You haven't got the nerve. Nah, you haven't got the nerve.
Which, I mean, like, it's not that bad. I've seen people read more in that time, but, like, for me, I don't do that on the reg. I am, like, 25 pages into Gemina. I'm loving it straight away. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, I don't think it can do any wrong. I think I'm gonna love it. Again, we've got a lot of different mixed medias, and just the characters. We're following different characters from what I can tell, predominantly, but I'm still, like, obsessed with all of them, and they're such individual and unique characters, so different to what we've seen already. My aim today is to get about halfway through this, and then tomorrow, there is what is it actually called? Hang on. I'm really bad at readathon names. Okay, it's the Basically Readathon run by Brit, and it's a 24-hour readathon, and I think I'm gonna like semi-take part in that. All my plans are tomorrow is to read, so my lunch is already made, dinner will be made. I'm not gonna have to do any cooking tomorrow, which always takes up so much time. My plans are go to the gym tomorrow as well, and read. So the plan is to still finish this in time to edit this on Sunday. If you're seeing this on Sunday, you'll know if I've done relatively okay. But, like, I'm scared because this ain't me. This ain't me. I don't read that much that fast. Oh my god, ignore how bad that spot is. Okay, I'm gonna go read for the next hour until I need to go out. Then I'm gonna go out, then I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna read more. And I'll just keep updating you. God, I hate myself. Morning. I've just woken up. I haven't done anything yet this morning. I haven't brushed my teeth. Ew. I haven't had anything to drink. I just came and picked up the camera and I thought, right, there's a vlog straight away. So I did try to set an alarm this morning and I didn't get up with it. I was just really tired. I was from magazine. But so it's like, what is it, like 9:15 right now? And last night I managed to get to about page like 285 of this, so I was aiming for like 300 and I did pretty well, considering when I was at like 150 I thought, oh, there's no chance, I'll probably only get to 200, but then I oh my god, it's too early. I sped through like page 200 to 280. So yeah, I think I'm going to be getting through it a lot quicker now. The pace of the book picks up, and because of the way it's written, when the kind of pace of what everything's going at picks up, you're reading it quicker, because there's some pages that are like really short things to, I guess, like keep the pace going for you. So yeah, it's so good. These books are incredible. Like, I really haven't been out here reading anything like this at all. Like, they're just, in my opinion, in a league of their own. They're incredible. I can't stop going on about them. The stakes in this one didn't feel very high for the first 100 pages. You were kind of like, okay, what's happening? But then the stakes rose very, very suddenly. Very suddenly. Like, it was crazy. So, yeah, I can't wait to read the rest of this. I'm going gym at about, I gotta leave at about 11:30. And so I've got like 2 and a bit hours now. Obviously I'm gonna be having breakfast and sort myself out a bit first, but I reckon I can get a really good chunk of this done. I'm gonna aim to get to at least page 400 of this before I go gym. And then when I come back, it's just getting through it, you know, getting through as much of the books as I can. I need to check in on Twitter and see what everyone's reading for the readathon, and see how it's going for everyone. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some breakfast and I'll check in with you in a bit. I'm so angry. I'm so angry at this character. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I've only read 30 pages, but I'm fuming. I'm fuming. Yo, what this series is so good at doing is pulling... Oh my god, I've gone really red. It's like pulling twists out the bag that you could never have seen coming. You're just like,
Sis, what?
and you're like, how did I not predict that? Because then you feel dumb. But then you're like, oh my god, why do I hate everyone? God, I was ready to throw my book across the room. I was so angry. Okay, I'm gonna get back to reading. Yo, I just got back from the gym and had lunch. I'm not even gonna try to look good for you right now because it's impossible after that gym class. Oh my god, I feel like death. I feel like, I feel so tired. It was so hard. But yeah, back home, the book just keeps getting better and better. Like, I might even prefer it to Illuminae. And considering Illuminae is my favourite book I've read so far this year, like, we're gagged. Everyone say hi to the panda, by the way. It's good luck to give him tummy rubs. Okay, I'm exposing how weird we are. I don't know how they do it, and I think it's really clever that they've switched characters, but they're all still connected, and the story, oh my god, it's just so good. It's just so good. And I don't know how they managed to create all these amazing characters that I like, I'm obsessed with, that I love. So yeah, I'm gonna go carry on reading. My arm hurts. I need to start putting this on the tripod when I check in because my arm gets so tired. Okay, bye, wish me luck. I've had enough. I'm checking out. I finished Gemina. It's gonna be 5 stars. It's gonna, I mean, the thing is with this series of books, they are so full of tension. Like, you're reading it and you're like, like skipping the pages, and a new development is constantly happening. Something is constantly going wrong that they've got to deal with in both the books, and so you're just full of tension. Like, I feel so wired of tension right now. Have I said I'm giving it 5 stars? I'm giving it 5 stars. It's 5 stars. It's incredible. I don't know if it's better than Illuminae or not. To me, it is similar. Did I say all this before? I think it's going to be very similar, this series, or it is, to the Bear and the Nightingale series or the Winter Night trilogy, in the sense that that series was all 5 stars, and like, I can't differentiate between them in terms of how good they are. They are just all that good. They're all on the same level, and they kind of all blend into one story where, like, you can't separate it. It's just one big story. It's not separate books. It's like a whole arc. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but that's what it feels like to me. It takes you through every emotion. I was screaming. I wish I was filming myself because I was angry. I was so angry and upset. And then, like, it turns it around on you. It's full of twists.
Oh, y'all wanted a twist, eh? Come on.
Illuminae.
Let's get sexy. Yeah.
And you just, God, I'm just, If you haven't picked up this series yet, please get to it right now. I'm trying to stare into your soul. Please go read it right now. I don't care about whatever else you got on your TBR. I really don't care. Unless it's something like Bear and the Nightingale, in which case maybe pick that up first. But no, I don't mean that. I mean I've been speaking about that longer, if in case you listen to me. Which I'm pretty sure no one does. So anyway, go read it. Go read it. And the thing is, you'll see it and you'll be like, 659 pages? But you read it so fast. Like, I really don't feel like it took me that long to read it. Because, you know, some pages are, let me find something that doesn't, like, spoil it. Some pages are like that, right? Or like this, like that. But you also have pages like this, where it's like transcript of a surveillance camera, right? So it doesn't actually take that long to read. And it was just incredible. Like, I want to go and reread it, and I just need to read. I don't know. I need to read everything that Amie Kaufman and Kristoff have written, both together and apart, because it's just incredible. Just incredible. So I did actually finish that roughly on time. I finished it like 5 or 10 minutes after 4. I think it's probably like 4:30 now because I had to set the camera up and everything. But we're going to start Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. And I've got to finish this tonight, really. Yeah, I mean, there's no excuses. I've got to finish it tonight. I don't think this is going to be as good a read as Gemina. I'm ready for more of the Darkling. Listen. I think I've said this before. Listen, I don't know why I've said to you before, so I'm just going to say it. I'm so happy I'm reading these in the era after Ben Barnes has been announced as the Darkling, because it means I imagine him as a Darkling, and I think it just improves the reading experience. So, okay. So I didn't finish the book. I gave up at like 8:30.
And I really scratch my head and I wonder, where's God when you need him?
I gave up. But I got, how far did I get? Like 80 pages in, and I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than Shadow and Bone. Yeah, we might have a 4-star on our hands. I mean, it's early days. But I feel actually like this book is better. Like, I'm enjoying it a lot more. A lot has happened in a very short amount of time, which I think with this series benefits it because, you know, the writing, you know, Leigh Bardugo has come a long way, in my opinion. Oh. I think you need that quick pace to keep me interested at least. So, yeah, I think it's better written than Shadow and Bone as well. I think it's way better written. I think there's been parts I've read, I'm like, ooh, that's nice, you know? But yeah, sorry that I gave up. What can I say? So after I gave up trying to finish this on Saturday night, oh god, at like 70 pages, 80 pages, I then didn't read any more until really this morning. Today is Wednesday. So I went 3 days without picking this up. Now, it wasn't like I didn't read, I just read other books. The problem with this is, I don't think it's a bad book. It's not a bad book at all. Like, I'm enjoying it. But, like, there's nothing that makes you want to pick it up. Like, in those days where I didn't read it, there was nothing that made me want to pick it up. And I don't think it's necessarily worse than Shadow and Bone, but I don't think it's an improvement. I've been reading this all day, and at first, you know, I was like, I'll check in at 150 pages, and I was like, okay, 200. And then we made it 250 because I've been waiting for something to actually say to you. I've been waiting to have an actual opinion. Apologies that my hair is like crazy, by the way. I've been waiting to have an actual opinion because thus far, nada. I just haven't cared. Like, I've just been like, oh, okay, fine. I haven't had anything that I loved to talk to you about or anything I was outraged about, you know? Like, it was just chill. It was just whatever. I didn't care.
I'm not gagging.
I think the problem is, You could say that Girls of Storm and Shadow was very similar to this in the sense that, like, it's a kind of, you know, we travel somewhere book and not loads happens. I mean, and we still have 120 pages, something to happen. But, like, in that series, I'm very attached to the characters. I think the characters are very well-rounded, very developed, and I don't think these characters are. I don't care about any of them. Any of them. Not even any real, like, side characters. I just don't care. I really have nothing to say to you. Like, I'm reading this whole ass book, and I have nothing to say to you about it. Like, I just don't care. I just don't care. I just want to finish it. It's not a bad book. Like, I'm enjoying it, but there's nothing to talk about. Like, it's bland. Like, it's like the equivalent of Quaker's Oats, like maple porridge, right? Like, you buy it in a sachet and you put it in the milk and it's the maple flavored one, right? It's nice. You eat it and you go like, yum, nice, right? But after a few spoonfuls, like, this is samey and it's nothing to write home about. No one's gonna be saying that's their favorite breakfast. No one's gonna be saying that's the best breakfast I've ever had. Like, it does the job. You go, oh yeah, nice. But there's nothing to say about it. It's just bland porridge. I don't hate Mal yet. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I think, like, he's not really annoying me at all. But everyone says he does something. And I'm trying to predict what he's gonna do. Oh, another thing. The romance in this book. Oh, come on. Could you... that sounded really posh. I'm not posh. I was like, oh, come on. Could you get any more boring? Like, they're not even... There's no chemistry there. How are you gonna, like, be thrust into a situation where you're kind of semi-separated? It's a bit awkward. And, like, not want to go, you know, find a closet or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, not even speaking to each other. There's a complete lack of communication. That's what bothers me. I can't stand lack of communication when there's no good reason. If there's a good reason, I don't care. That can be kind of like... But this is no good reason for them not communicating how they're feeling, or that's irritating me. That's the main thing that's irritating me. I'm like, guys, why can't we just sit down and have a chat? So, final thoughts. I have none.
Cheeky bitch. Honestly, what a carry on.
This book was just so... I don't even have any positive feelings towards it, but I don't have any negative feelings towards it. Like, I'm just completely unbothered about it. And I read it yesterday and I feel like nothing happened. Okay, question also. Am I supposed to hate Mel now? Because everyone says he does something in this book, or is it the next book that makes you hate him? He's done some stuff in this that make me think, oh, he's just an idiot. But I don't hate him. Like, I don't think he's a bad person. I understand where he's coming from. Am I the only one who understands where he's coming from? So, I gave it 3 stars. It's probably more like a 2.75, but, like, I usually give, I don't know, 3. It was fine. It was fine. There we go. I've made progress in some of the book series that I really wanted to get to this year. I feel really happy, actually, that I've made progress in all of these, because then I've only got 1 book left in each of these series, and it's the final book, which is quite exciting. So, yeah, I'm really happy that I made progress. I'm sad this video took longer to film than I wanted it to, but you live and you learn. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you very, very soon with another one. Thank you for watching. Bye!